This is Off Track.
Blue Jays, bro. Holy
dude, how
crap.
about that? How about that? Here's what I've always said about baseball and basketball back home is because we've got one team for the entire country, it really does unite the country in a very cool way. And like hockey fractures Canada, baseball and basketball bring it all together. And like you'll be traveling out in Vancouver or something, Western Canada, and you'll see somebody with a Jays hat. You'll be like, oh my God, why does he have a Jays hat? Oh, right, because that's all we have. That's literally the only baseball team in the country.
Do you want to know what blows my mind? Is the Raptors have been good off and on for the better part of a decade. The Blue Jays have been good off and on for a while. And Toronto with its the way the tax situation is set up, it is very hard to get athletes to come play for Toronto just because you're paying a lot more in taxes as an athlete to live in Toronto than you would be if you played in Chicago or Detroit or whatever. And yet,
Miami.
Right. Any of the 50 states that have an
California
NBA or, well, sure, MLB team. And yet they're still able to attract some of the best players in the world to come play there. So that just goes to show how good those organizations must be from like a management standpoint, because people are willing to make a substantially less money to play for these teams. So the quality of life must be pretty good for them to make that decision.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great point. And I think that it also kind of forces the teams to be a little bit more aggressive maybe on finding young talent and bringing them up, right? And taking risks on guys to nurture them into what becomes stars. We definitely have seen that a lot with the Raptors, where like we'll get these good players and then people will be like, oh, they're really good, we'll take them, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a stepping stone kind of place in some ways. But no, it's a great point. And like, it's the same in hockey. I know you've got more options. There's 6 teams up there, so it's a different conversation. But like, if you're being asked to go play for the Panthers or the Leafs, and they're both good, you're like, yeah, but I could have no state income tax in Florida. That sounds cool. So yeah, I think part of what it is those teams have such a support system behind them and such a fan base, and playing for them like means something in a different way. I think that helps kind of bridge that gap too and make that happen. But anyway, yeah, series tied up at 2. That game that went 18 innings, ridiculous.
Didn't watch.
So glad I didn't stay up for it. I couldn't.
But what's funny is everyone was like, oh, that was the death sentence for the Jays because, 18 innings, they're not as deep as the Dodgers. They're going to be tired, all this sort of thing. First of all, these are professional athletes, right? And aside from the pitcher and aside from Ohtani, who was on base like 9 times, it's a lot of standing. Like, I know you're always on alert and you're always having to be ready because you never know when a ball's coming your way and you got to make a huge play sort of thing. So it's a very anxious and stressful situation, but it's not that taxing on your body. So like when everyone was like, oh, they're screwed because they're not going to be able to do it. It's like, well, no, first of all, they're pretty fit. Second of all, they're in a must-win situation. And they're pretty good at baseball. And also like you got potentially the hottest batter in the league right now with
Vladdy?
What's his face? Vladdy. So
I had no idea you cared about baseball.
He's married to a Canadian.
I care about things when it's the World Series, the Stanley Cup, when it's the Masters. I don't give a about regular season baseball. Couldn't care less. I don't give a about the Dodgers or the Blue Jays. But what I love is seeing the 2 best compete in a best of 7 series on a Tuesday night. Like, what more could you ask for?
Right. What else has happened on a Tuesday night?
Exactly.
I'll tell you what blew my mind. I didn't know people from Toronto were called Torontonians.
How did you not know that? What did you think we were called?
I've never given any thought, but he just said Torontoans or whatever. So I was like, oh, I wonder what that is. And I looked it up and it's Torontonians. And that just sounds made up.
You could have, I'm sorry, you guys call yourselves Angelinos.
Well, first of all, I'm a Hoosier.
You know what I mean?
I mean, arguably more stupid.
Yeah.
Well, do you know why we call ourselves
means.
Hoosiers? We don't.
No,
we just
yeah,
do.
exactly. Literally nobody knows why that
Super
name
dumb.
exists.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, well, you guys are both losing your honorary Hoosier status.
I feel like as long as I pay taxes here, I'm allowed to call myself a Hoosier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't, actually. I think you're losing your honest Hoosier status.
Apparently, Hoosier is an insult in Missouri.
Well, I think it started as there's a couple. We're not getting into the theories of Hoosier and where it came from because there's like 3 prevailing ones and they're all pretty obscure. But yeah, one of them is not like super complimentary. But
I'll take it.
Just
I mean,
own it.
neither
And
was
then-
Yankee, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Now there's a whole very successful organization built around that name. So,
Anyways, let's not get into franchise naming because that's a slippery slope.
See, I wasn't even talking about the Yankees. I was talking about the term Yankee, but
yes, I know, but I'm saying they've taken it now and have made it anyway. So yeah, go Jays. Hopefully that keeps going the right way. At least we know that for sure it's going to at least a game 6. So we'll go back to Toronto,
Yeah.
which has made me like really think about maybe going home for 24 hours. And
I know a pilot if you need one.
Do you have an in?
I haven't. I'm sure there's a way. I would just go buy tickets. I would just go scalp tickets. I don't even care. Just like being in that dome during what could be like, I went to one of the World Series games as a kid in 93. We used to have season tickets to the Blue Jays. And like my dad said, he was like, okay, you can go to game 4 and it's a guarantee that you'll get to see a game, or you can hold out for one of the later games, but we might not make it. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to take the guarantee. I want to see. And sure enough, I should not have done that because we ended up making it and winning it. But I have been to World Series games at the what was then Skydome, which is now Rogers Center before, and it brings back a lot of fun memories. I was like texting my mom, not last night, one of the games before. I just saying, like, it's so cool. Like I'm into this again in a way that I haven't been probably since the last time they were in the World Series, and it just bring back these cool memories from childhood. So I would love to. I don't know if it's possible, but
If I wasn't going to be in LA with our esteemed colleague Timothy and watching ponies run, I would definitely go with you. But
that's a bummer.
Alas, I cannot.
But I mean, your pony runs a lot of times a year. The Blue Jays are only in the World Series
My pony
once.
is not running at all. My pony is in New Orleans.
So
we
why are
already
you going to
talked about him,
California to watch?
It's
Oh,
the
did I
Breeders'
miss
Cup,
that on
man.
Tuesday?
It's the Breeders' Cup.
Are you just going as a horse fan, or is there like some sort of
Horse fan, cocktail fan,
Okay.
betting fan,
Okay,
food fan.
got it.
Yeah.
Breeders' Cup. All right.
Tim fan.
I don't know if I'm gonna buy that one.
I get it. I get it.
How do you guys feel about pears? The fruit, not like
Generally pro.
EAR, not AIR.
Against.
Why? Why are you against pears?
I just don't like them.
Do you like apples?
I do.
So
I mean,
what do you like about apples that you don't like about pears?
Apples are
Because I have a
crunchy.
theory. Okay.
Apples are crunchy. Pears are not. And
So
pears don't
it's
taste like an
purely
apple.
No, they taste better. That's what I'm getting at. I'm pretty sure I think the taste of a pear is better. It is juicier. It is more flavorful, but it's a mess. I think pears have fallen below apples in the like commonality
It's less messy than like a pomegranate.
Yeah, but also not a very popular fruit for just walking around and putting in your lunch bag as a kid and like, walking around.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have an apple,
Right. I mean, the ultimate fruit for travel is banana. It is.
What do
don't
you
have to
say
wash
for
it.
travel?
Self-contained.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
once
but
you
like-
start it, you have to finish it.
Oh, because you're
put a half apple back
apple.
in your backpack on
That's
a
fair.
plane.
That's fair. But I'm thinking there's got to be something like a grape where you just have like multiple self-contained small ones.
Grape in like a Tupperware, but then you'd have to have the Tupperware at the end.
Yeah,
right.
that's
Where
fair.
like you throw.
Again, I was thinking
is definitely not
more
as
of the
messy.
sanitary fact that you don't have to wash it. Like you
Yeah.
just peel a banana and you eat it and you're done. And it's
and it's not messy. There's no
not
residue.
messy.
Yeah.
It's
No, it's
great
probably
for
it's a good
you.
shout. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
The on-the-go fruit is a banana. It's not my favorite fruit at all. I actually
What's your favorite fruit?
them, but I love the convenience of them. My favorite fruit is a sumo orange.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't you just say orange? Just like, why do you got to be the way that you are?
Be less you. Can you?
Yeah.
So a sumo orange. So check this out. There's a Japanese guy. And
I just want to interrupt because I want to tell you why I hate this right now. I'm going to try this orange and I'm going to be like, damn it, he's right.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's going to stop you. It's like $4.75 an orange. So
seems aggressive. I'm willing to do one.
It's a genetically, so you know those oranges that when you look at them in the store, they're like really warty ones and you're like, what the is that? Like, why would I buy that? Like it's not a good looking orange.
Okay.
Like the skin's super thick and it's got the point and all this.
It's warty and stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is a genetically modified citrus that a guy in Japan created. And he was like, I love oranges, but I hate the randomness of an orange. Like sometimes you have a great orange and then you grab another one and it's trash. It's dry, it's sour, it's not juicy, all this sort of thing. And he was like, I also don't like the little white stringy things on an orange because like you either eat it or you spend extra time peeling it and it gets on your fingers and it's a mess and whatever, right? And third, I don't like the seeds. So he was like, I'm going to create the perfect citrus. So he created the sumo orange, which has none of the white stuff. Every single one is bomb diggity and it's seedless. So like you are getting the full orange experience without any of the bullshit 100% of the time.
Okay.
I'm for it.
The genetically altered part, I can't tell if I care about or not. I feel like I should, but I also don't know that I do.
I don't know.
Did you know lemons are not naturally occurring? We invented them.
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah. Okay. All right. You're onto something there. And this sort of thing is used in other areas of agriculture. Fine.
Yeah, we're not talking about like creating humans here.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
It's alive!
Let's say you bought a normal orange and it was one of the ones that just happened to be good. Like it's going to have the white stringy things on it. Fine.
Yeah. And seeds.
But like, and seeds. But it's just good.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to say that orange is better than any other fruit as well? Because you just really love the taste of a good orange. And sumo oranges just win because they're consistently good.
Right. I would say it's really close between that and like in-season cherries.
Oh, nice. Okay. I like that.
But yeah,
I like that.
That it's probably a tie between those two. But cherries are hard because they're only good for like 1 or 2 months a year, right? Whereas again,
plus they killed Zachary Taylor.
You get it all the time.
Is that like a president or something? Yeah. I don't know why I knew that.
He died because he ate too many cherries and drank too much milk.
Yeah, we gathered. Do you know the difference? This actually just reminds me of a conversation that came up in the production trailer at an IndyCar race with my beloved Fox colleagues. We were talking about favorite fruit, and then Georgia actually was like, well, what's your favorite like casual fruit and your favorite non-casual fruit? And I walked in on this conversation. I'm like, I'm sorry,
good answer.
what?
No, good question. Pears for casual, kiwi for not casual.
Wow. Okay. So you actually kind of understand what she means by that. Because we went into a whole debate about what classified a casual or a non-casual fruit. What was it? How did you define? You don't understand why there's a question?
Yeah. It just seems obvious to me. Because there's going to be some fruits where it's going to be a thing. You're not going to sit down and like casually have a kiwi because that's a process.
But people eat kiwis through the skin.
Well, those people are psychopaths.
I'm married to one.
Okay,
what?
Well, we need to end that.
Yeah. Isn't it like a fuzzy? Isn't it like fuzzy?
Why didn't you tell us this earlier? We need to extricate you from this situation as soon as possible.
Blink twice if you're in trouble. No, I also, not all the time, but she can, and apparently you can. It's apparently a thing. But so we kind of try to define the difference between casual and non-casual fruit was like, if you have to do anything to it to eat it, it becomes non-casual. So like a kiwi, for example.
But you got to peel a banana, you got to peel an orange.
Right. But like those are pretty
common. You have to dehydrate a raisin.
So I would not consider raisins a casual fruit under any circumstances whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah. I barely consider them a fruit, but
I don't. I mean, they're not.
I know that it is a
They're
dried fruit.
grape dehydrated.
But isn't a grape a fruit?
Sure is. So would you classify Would you classify olives as a fruit?
I hate that they are, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
they're
on a tree, and they're pitted.
Or are they seeds?
No, they're a fruit.
Where they've got a pit.
They're fruit, right? Yeah. Oh, I hate that.
It's like a peach, but gross.
I mean, so essentially, a dirty martini is healthy. It's might as well.
Well,
be
I think we've all known that.
It's a fruit beverage. Yeah, I'm having a fruity beverage.
Yeah,
a gin martini.
But all alcohol is healthy, or they wouldn't use it at hospitals.
You're not consuming it.
Yeah, you're using your alcohol in a different way than they are.
Yeah. They're using it to sterilize.
To paraphrase New Girl, rubbing alcohol for my outside injuries, drinking alcohol for my inside injuries.
That is very depressing and sad, but accurate. I was going to say like either pineapple or grapefruit would be my non-casual favorite fruit.
Grapefruit, eh? With or without sugar?
Without. Just bitter as. Yeah. What I like about
pineapple,
grapefruit, I don't like.
It's a mother, but it's good.
It's a pain. Grapefruit, it's a lot of work, but what I like about them is you eat. So you split it in half, and I like cut out all the little squares, and I eat it with a spoon,
obviously.
and that's delicious.
Yeah.
And then you can squeeze it into the bowl, and then you get the juice too. So it's almost like you get 2 meals out of it.
And then
you get 2 experiences.
If a bottle of tequila is next to you, you've got a cocktail.
It's a nice cocktail. It's a nice Paloma.
Paloma. Yeah. Yeah.
And but I do love pineapple. But pineapple, I feel like you can get bad pineapple. I don't really have like a bad grapefruit.
Would you choose for the work? Would you choose a pineapple over a watermelon? Good watermelon.
Good watermelon is pretty good and not that much work compared to a pineapple.
I mean, arguably less.
I would say it's less. I'm saying compared, it's not as.
I mean, if you have a sharp knife, it's really no work at all.
I don't love the seeds in a watermelon. I don't hate them.
Seedless.
I don't love. I know. So we're gonna go for seedless. That's a different conversation.
Well, everything. If you can get anything seedless, you should get it.
Yeah, that's true. Especially kiwis. I hate kiwi seeds.
Okay, fun story. And then we need to move on. So we are at the point in Ben's life where we're introducing solids slowly. Okay. And so number 1 was banana, right? That's like, I feel like the de facto
barely a solid,
first thing, right? You mush it up and you give it to them. Hated it. They were like, all right. What about avocado? Hated it. Okay. This is going well.
We stock it like brunch.
Peas. Kids love mushed up peas. Hated it. Hated it.
Good man.
No, I kind of want peas.
4th thing that he tried, kiwi. Yeah. Loved kiwi. Oh yeah. Which is wild because like it's not like a.
No, that's a weird one.
Yeah. It's not like just a super forward facing sweet
flavorful
taste. Yeah. It's just like I don't know.
And the seeds are like, it tastes like sand. Weird. Okay. You tell him that one day he can just eat them like an apple if he wants.
No, do not tell him that. Tell him he's kicked out of the house if he does that.
Part of me is wondering if like his Aunt Becky ate a kiwi in front of him like that. So that's why he thinks he likes kiwis.
He does have a low-key crush on Aunt Becky. So that might be, maybe he's trying to impress her.
Though. No, not anymore.
Not as of 12 minutes ago when he learned that she sometimes eats kiwis through the skin.
Oh boy, we have something to talk about.
What happened?
As of 23 minutes ago, 20-time Indy 500 starter in 2006, IndyCar Rookie of the Year, Marco Andretti has announced his retirement from motor racing.
Wow, there you go.
How did all 3 of us miss that?
I had no idea.
I literally went on Racer right before we started recording just to like see if there was anything new and exciting. And that must have been 24 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. Hey.
Honestly,
congrats.
I'm happy that you two are both like, yeah. Like, I'm glad none of us knew. Congrats to Marco. I don't think it's often talked about enough the challenge that he had, despite some of the advantages that he had, the challenge that he had, because, there are quite a few drivers, right, who are second generation. Mm-hmm. And there's this expectation, whether that be from the fan base or the family or the media or whatever, that whatever accomplishments the older generation did, the younger generation should at least match or do better than. And Marco not only had to deal with second generation, but he had to deal with third generation.
Yeah.
And
like tiered generation because of his uncles,
Right. So despite the advantages that he had in terms of coming up in a racing family and having the support of a grandfather and a father who are in the racing industry, like there's no free lunch. And there are a lot of challenges that I'm sure he could speak to about why in some ways that probably made his career harder than it should have been.
Yeah.
So I think that he deserves a huge amount of praise for being a professional race car driver for the better part of two decades plus, and also being able to go out on his own terms. Like that's pretty cool.
That's very cool. So, and you're totally right. I mean, that is a double-edged sword if there ever was one. And he handled it. He handled it well, all things considered, because that's some pretty big shoes to fill on the old Andretti family tree. But like you say, I mean, 2 decades in the sport, that's huge. Man, congratulations, buddy. He's now gets to focus fully on being a dad and his other business ventures, because he's always been an entrepreneur in his spare time. And that's awesome. I'm very excited for him. Did you just text him right now?
Yeah.
Same.
I'll be texting
do we all just do that?
Should we just do this in the group chat? I'm gonna wait till afterwards. Wow. Okay. So there you go. That's official. And congrats to our good friend Marco on a tremendous IndyCar career. 20 Indy 500 starts. That's nuts. What are you at?
I'm at 9.
Tim, how about you?
How many have I been to?
No. Just asking how many you started.
Oh, who keeps track?
Most people who do them have a pretty accurate tally.
James is really too short of what he should be.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, but I have two attempts that didn't go super well.
Why? What happened?
Well, one of them I just didn't qualify, Tim. The other one I nearly died.
So one of them, Tim, basically what happened is one of them he forgot to turn. The other one he forgot to stay flat.
I forgot to go fast. Oh no, I was flat. I was flat.
I know.
It was I tried 11, qualified for 10, started 9. It's a weird stat. It's a weird thing there.
Actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's more in there. Like if you got like 8 top 10s or like 7 something,
Oh, like keep the thing going. Yeah, I'd have to look into that.
One poll.
Look into that.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, we know where it ends. Yeah.
It's like what is that Christmas song with the turtle doves and stuff?
Oh yeah. 12 days of
12
Christmas.
days of Christmas.
12 days. The 12 days of hinch racing.
The 11 things of hinch at Indy.
When's the last time an Andretti hasn't raced in the Indy 500?
1958.
Yeah. Maybe Mercer will just carry it on this year.
Or Mira's got to really step up her game.
Luca. We need Luca to, he's the right age. We need to get him in. Yeah, that's a great question, actually, Timbo, because it would have been before Michael, but when Mario was doing F1 or something, right? When he was over there.
This is why we need some of your stats guys.
Yeah. It's got to be like 70s.
Marco's had such a good track record at the 500. I mean, even I was just thinking about that first one from 06 a few nights ago and what could have been there. And just, I don't know. It's going to be weird.
It's going to be very weird because I don't know. You're right. And Andretti has been a staple of the Speedway for so long. It'll be interesting if he comes. I doubt it, but maybe.
I feel like I wouldn't if I were him.
I don't know. He's a pretty savvy business guy, so I could see him being in some ambassador role of some brand of doing something and like probably making more money doing that than he was driving the race car. Like
him and Mario should have thing to do. Yeah.
But I also imagine there's got to be a pull to like just watch it from home, right? To just have that be the first time the Indy 500 is a normal day.
I think if you were stepping away from the sport and we're kind of making the conscious decision to kind of really completely step away from the sport and really never go back to a track for any reason or have any connection, then yes, I've got to understand that. But I don't know. I don't see that being the case. I don't see Marco being the kind of guy that's going to start hanging around, 10 races a year or anything like that. But Indy is different. Indy is special. I think to Alex's point, there's some opportunities for him there. And I don't know, man, like there's if he's made that decision, he's at peace with that decision, there'll be something cool about going and experiencing the Indy 500 without the pressure of being a driver or without the pressure of your dad being in the race. Like he's literally never had that his entire life. He's either been in it or a family member's been in it. And so you might I can't wait for the day where I can just go sit in the turn one stands and drink beer and watch the Indy 500. Like, I think that would be awesome.
Let me be your guide. Maybe I'll reach out to Marco and be like, hey, let me show you how it's properly done.
Let me show you what the Coke Lot's like on Saturday night, what the Snake Pit's like Sunday morning, and how to get into numerous hospitality suites without being invited and drink their beer. Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. We'll see. I mean, I hope he comes. I would love to see him there, May. I'd love.
He also announced he's writing a book, so we got that to look forward to.
There you go. That'll be I can't wait for that.
There's
going to be some stories in that. Wait, yes. I'm actually going to have to go through. I'm going to need to proofread that before it goes out.
Yeah, I think all of us could be a little trouble on that one.
Yeah. Oh, good days. Okay, so so racing stuff. Now that we've covered fruit and retirements over the last 30 minutes, racing stuff. Alex, did you pay attention to the Mexico City Grand Prix at all?
I watched all of it. I watched it all.
Amazing. I think what I want to talk about is, so we can get to like what happened and who won and all that stuff, but I really want to talk about all the corner cutting and what your opinion was on all that. Because like turn one, lap one, you had Max miss turns 1, 2, and 3. You had Leclerc skip turn 2, and everybody came back on in places, and there were no penalties or reorderings assessed. Later in the race, Hamilton cuts a corner, a penalty is assessed. What is your take on all said lawn mowing? Oh, and then actually Verstappen did it again while racing Hamilton.
A little relief that inconsistency exists seemingly in all forms of motor racing in terms of the stewarding and policing and rules making. And we've always said it's a thankless job, right?
Yes.
And I do believe that. And I'm sure the FIA has their reasons. Like they're not making these decisions blindfolded and just pointing at something. It's not a lottery.
Not throwing darts at a dartboard.
Right. Does that mean I agree with it? No, but I don't know. I guess.
What do you disagree with more?
If we break it down, I disagree with the Lewis penalty. That one seems a little bit. It just seems a little bit weird. Like again, we come back to the consistency factor of it, right? It's like if you're going to penalize, like the FIA and Formula One is so uptight about track limits, right? Like we see it all the time in qualifying. Like you're a millimeter over a white line, and it's a black and white rule. So fine, they enforce it, and everyone knows that they're playing by that rule, and you have to drive accordingly. They're pretty black and white about track limits in racing. They're pretty black and white about owning a corner, right? Even if you're the inside guy and you fire someone off, as long as you're by their front axle, like it's your corner and the other guy has to let you by, even if it's a complete dive bomb. So again, they're black and white about it. And it seemed like Mexico, they weren't. And that's where the frustration comes in. It's not the penalty or the lack of penalty. It's why are some getting penalties and others not, I guess, is my biggest complaint.
Completely agree. I think when they tried to explain it, the prevailing thought was that in the turn one thing, Verstappen kind of went in fourth and kind of came out in fourth. So they said there was no advantage gained. The caveat being, to George Russell's point, and this is a very IndyCar thing, hey, the drivers that stayed on track should have some sort of benefit here. Because if you could just go in fourth, launch it on the outside, and if it sticks, awesome. But if it doesn't, there's no penalty. There's no downside. Why aren't you just doing that every lap, right? Not every lap, but like every opportunity.
Yes.
Totally fair. And that part I agree with. So for the way that their rules are written, sure, Max didn't get a penalty, but I can see why George thought he should and don't disagree. The Lewis one's a little different because the Lewis one, what he got a penalty for was leaving track and gaining an advantage. And because he went into the corner side by side with Max, came out of the corner 4 seconds ahead of Max and didn't back up at all, they're like, well, that's a lasting advantage. Now, that advantage was exacerbated because he, George, and Behrman all started racing each other through 4 and 5. Had Max just gone through by himself, that advantage wouldn't have been as big. And so, like, from the Ferrari pit stand, how are you supposed to look at that and be like, if we back up to only being a second in front, maybe they won't do anything, but if we stay here, they will. Like, it's really hard to know what the judgment call is going to be there. And because there were others that didn't really have consequence, it seemed a little harsh that he got one. But I don't know.
Like, so like if we look at the start of the race and the Max penalty or the Max instance, I don't think Max should have got a penalty for it. Because, he was, I don't feel like he was trying to fire it.
No, I agree.
Around the outside. Like, he got pushed onto a curb. We all know how dirty Mexico City is offline. He locked up as soon as he got on the curb. He was 3 wide. He wasn't going to crash out 2 cars by turning in. He wasn't getting the speed out of it. And he almost took it. Like, the fact that he didn't crash is incredible. Have you seen like the onboard and the view from like turn 3? Like, the
onboard is insane.
Incredible. So he definitely didn't do that on purpose. And that is what you would deem a racing incident, where I think IndyCar did a really good job is when you look at the Portland situation, right? So for a lot of years, Portland was just a complete, as you know, James, was a complete debacle in turn 1, lap 1. And Kyle Novak and the stewards were sick and tired of it. Like, it was pathetic that we can't get through turn 1 every single year. And so what they did was they said that if you cut behind the turn 2 curb at that sequence in Portland on lap 1, it doesn't matter if you were pushed there. It doesn't matter if it was an honest mistake that got you there. It does not matter how you ended up there. If you do not go left hand down and get through the chicane barricade setup and rejoin the track that way, you're immediately going to the back. You have to treat that white line in that area behind the turn 2 curb as a wall. End of discussion. And what happened from that point? Everyone played nice through there. And it was all of the incidents went away, and we've now gotten through Portland 3 years in a row through turn 1, essentially. So
must be nice.
F1, I'm not saying do you have to do that? You can't obviously do that for every track, but there needs to be something that's done because there are so many tracks with this massive amount of runoff. And Mexico's not really an example because it's not like it's a paved runoff, right? The fact, again, like we said, that Max didn't crash is crazy. But I do think because a lot of the way their tracks are set up, there needs to be a more hard and fast rule like they have at Monza, like they have with track limits and qualifying, that if you
Montreal final chicane, they've got
if you cut
like
a corner, you have to go and pay your penalty. So that way there's no speculation of how much of an advantage did he gain or did he not because they were fighting or he was going through the grass so he couldn't have gained that much and that sort of thing. It's a rule, it's done with, everyone knows it, and they play by it. Because if that's the case, I don't think Max Max didn't intentionally ship it in there.
Go off.
I don't think he goes 3 wide there and exposes himself to that in the position he's in. He probably has to lift and stays in 4th and tries to work his way through the 2 Ferraris through the complex.
Yeah. Or even if there was like gravel in that corner.
Also true.
Is that going to make guys just behave better?
Yeah.
Either way, Lando won it running away, which was a super impressive drive all weekend long. Qualifying the race, just absolutely dominated. Now you're world championship leader, which is kind of cool when you think about the fact that he lost 18 points in Zandvoort through something not of his own doing. Oscar, again, had a bit of an off weekend, but I thought did a really good job in the race. Kind of found his rhythm, found his groove a bit more, and got back up to fifth, nearly fourth. But Oliver Bearman hung on to fourth for his best finish of his career and a tied best finish for Haas, which was pretty freaking cool. He ran up in a podium spot for a long time there. It's just, Max got him at the end. Do you think that Piastri's kind of lost his edge and that it's Lando's to lose now? Or do you think he's just had 2 bad weekends, and when we get to, Brazil, he could blitz the field like he's done at, 5 or 6 tracks this year?
No.
Do you think it's circumstantial, or do you think he's in his head?
I would find it hard to believe that Oscar would be flustered. I think he was better at Coda than the results show. I think everyone's going to lose to Max in Brazil. So I think really it's Vegas and Qatar, whatever you want to call it, where Oscar's going to have to show what he's made of. And I think those are tracks that should suit him very, very well. So I think that if he comes out of those 2, like still missing a couple tenths to Lando, then yeah, it was a mental breakdown, but I don't imagine that being the case.
And then I guess the other way to look at it is he losing his edge, or is Lando just really stepped it up? Because even in the first half of the year, a lot of people would argue that Lando was maybe that little bit quicker over a lap, but made more mistakes. So did Lando just sort his program out, and now he's just harder to beat? And because everybody else has developed their cars a little bit more than the McLaren, there's just more cars in the mix now. So they're not just fighting over first and second anymore. And
yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. I was half expecting, with how dominant Lando was in qualifying, I was half expecting him to bottle up a lap at some point. And he never did.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And was on pole by like 3/10. So
yeah, that's a good chunk. He executed very well over the weekend. Maybe his best Grand Prix weekend total.
I'd agree. Yeah,
of his career.
For sure.
And when you consider we've said that already this year, it shows that he's still getting better.
Yeah. Good point. I still think Max is super alive in this. Because he's gonna win the sprint and the feature in Brazil. Just book it.
Very good chance.
That's gonna happen.
If there's any weather, it's a done deal.
Well, even if there's not, he's so good there. So then I imagine it's a 25-ish point gap with 3 to go. And
I think Vegas is going to suit the Red Bull better than the McLaren. Qatar should be a McLaren 1-2.
Well, it seems like
hands down,
any track that is in the United States of America, Max
wins.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah, he's good there. All right, so weekend off. I think we last spoke, you were doing your testing, but the second day got canceled, right?
Do we? Yeah. Interesting. Do we not go over the damper stuff and all that sort of jazz? I don't think we did.
Did we do that? I don't think we did.
No, we did not.
Okay. Well, should we run through it quickly?
Let's run through it quickly. There's probably some fruit chat he can trim down.
Yeah. So
absolutely not.
So yes, IMS test. The second day was really focused on the spec damper, or the idea of spec damper. The first day was spent going through brakes, and we already talked about why that's a positive thing. And it seems like it worked. Those are going ahead for 2026, which is great news. The dampers are a project, or an idea of a project, for 2028. There's a lot of conversation about it. People correctly assume that a series would want to go to a spec damper to help alleviate some of the cost. And while that is part of it, that is not the main reason. So the new car, obviously there's a huge push from everyone, drivers, fans, the series itself, to reduce the weight of it. And custom dampers, especially street course dampers, weigh a lot. All of the inerter technology and everything that goes into these dampers
to them.
Because they're open and unlimited. They just add componentry and stuff and things, and they end up being pretty heavy. So there was an idea that it would be a pretty decent win-win to reduce cost and save weight as a twofer. If the dampers, like a spec damper, was up to the task. And let me just tell you, James, there's a reason why teams spend 7 figures on a damper program, and it's been going on for the better part of a decade and all of these things.
Yeah.
Because you don't crash. Like, the car doesn't become undrivable. It doesn't become a box. It's all fine and it all works seemingly okay. But there's a substantial lack of grip, or I should say a grip reduction. And if you're feeling that on a 51 degree day, which is what we were having by yourself at max downforce, like that's a pretty grave and extreme problem coming to the month of May when you're in traffic and it's 82 degrees on Memorial Day with 123 degree track temp. So the spec damper project, while not impossible, is seemingly something that is not incredibly viable, just because of how far away they are from the dampers that all the teams have developed for this period of time. And kind of like we discussed on the last episode, like there's something to be said for not being a completely spec championship, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the allure of IndyCar racing, to engineers and to designers and to mechanics and that sort of thing. And there isn't a huge push from the teams themselves to like get rid of the damper program. So this was more of the series is doing their due diligence and trying to look at all avenues to save cost, reduce weight, and all this sort of thing. And so they're just trying to tick the boxes. And the most important place, obviously, is you would want to make sure that the Indy 500 is not negatively impacted by that. And I think that they learned a lot last week in terms of it would be, at least with the damper selections that we had at the time last week. So that's where we're at.
Does that mean they're going to keep trying? Like, it's rare you just try something once and it doesn't work and you're like, hey, we're not going to go any further.
I don't want to speak for them, but it didn't seem
like
that anyone was
surprised.
It didn't seem that anyone was surprised with the results. It's not like people were like, oh my God, really? It was like, yeah.
Because then the question kind of becomes, if to get it to the same grip level, you've got to add all the same stuff. We're not actually saving any weight, so what's the point?
Correct.
Right.
So they were, again, going through the due diligence. It didn't cost anything to do it. It was a safe test because me and Takuma both did it, and it wasn't diabolical and that sort of thing. And him and I both blindly, like we joined at the end of the day and had a group kind of debrief and discussion with IndyCar and Olin, the damper company, and our respective engineers. And like, without speaking to each other, everyone kind of came to the same conclusion. So it was all very productive. And again, happy to be a part of it.
This is why we test.
And I head to Phoenix next week. So that should be cool.
Phoenix tire test?
Phoenix tire, aero,
and aero
test. Yeah.
That's going to be very interesting. Very interesting.
/ important.
Getting ready for our NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader at Phoenix next year.
Yes, sir.
Which is going to be fun. Cool. Okay. Well, good place to end. But as you mentioned, Phoenix, and that leads to our NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader. Let's just casually mention that in absence of an IndyCar race or an F1 race next weekend, there is in fact the NASCAR championship decider at Phoenix. Hamlin, Briscoe, Larson, Byron, those are your 4 that are going for it. And I'm very curious to see how it all shakes out, because I think Byron was the regular season champ. Denny has won everything but a championship and wants to shake that, best driver to never win a championship thing, all while suing NASCAR. Very interesting dynamic.
Good for him.
Got Larson, who's done it. Briscoe, who's been strong. So I'm going to watch. I am going to watch that race because
I'm going to be honest.
I'm curious.
I'm not.
And you're going to be betting on
I'm all
ponies,
about the Breeders' Cup this weekend.
Yeah. So I will pay a lot of attention to that, and you pay a lot of attention to NASCAR, and then we will talk about it next week.
Okay. Well, let's text update each other as the weekend goes on. So that way we have some understanding of each other's programs, and that way we can discuss on the show. And it's not just like two monologues of Breeders' Cup, go. Phoenix, go. Tim, as usual, he'll contribute next to nothing.
And people will still complain that I talk too much.
This has been Off Track with Hinch and Rossi. Off Track is part of the SiriusXM Sports Podcast Network. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, please give a 5-star rating and leave a review. Subscribe today wherever you stream your podcasts. We are at Ask Off Track on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at Hinchtown and at Alexander Rossi. If you want to follow Tim, though we have no idea why you would, he's at the Tim Durham on Twitter. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel for exclusive video content. Off Track is produced by Tim Durham, and by that we mean Tim.